Rams for Hire.
Welcome back to GMs for Hire. I am Matthew Perry. With me today, Will Polston and RJ Strope, and we are back for the NFL predictions week 5. A little update after week 4. Not much changed. RJ still our lead dog, 45-19 after a 13-3 week. Jamil and Will both went 13-3 as well, 43-21 each of them. And I took a chance on a couple different games, and I think only one or two worked out. But I'm still back of the pack, 39-25. This week we have 4 islands. We're going to start with RJ's, and it's going to be the Thursday night game. Seattle against the Los Angeles Rams. RJ, the only man to select the Seahawks. RJ, can you explain?
Yeah. Look, I think the Rams are really good. This isn't an overreaction pick to the Rams losing last week. That's not, I don't like to make those kind of decisions. I just think a short week going on the road at Seattle with that environment, division game. We've stressed that division games are always close. The Seahawks at home, I know they haven't looked impressive, and everybody's ready to, if it's not Kyler, Matthew Stafford's the MVP. Like, everyone's ready to crown him. Like, I think in this spot on the road Thursday night, Seattle's not bad. They're just not 2013 Seattle. But they're still a good team. And I think, short week at home, I like the Seahawks.
Well, the Rams suffered their first defeat of the year last week against the Arizona Cardinals, another in-division team. How do you think they will bounce back this week against the Seahawks? What's going to change that was different last week against the Cardinals?
I think we can all agree that this division, top to bottom, the NFC West, is probably the most difficult division. You could have made an argument for the AFC North, but the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking a little rough, especially with the way Big Ben's been playing. So I think the NFC West is a hell of a division, and I think all of those teams can pull out a win any night. But I think this is going to be a good bounce back game for the Rams. It's not against an easy opponent, though. I mean, RJ is not crazy for taking the Seahawks. Like you said, there's a lot of things playing in the Seahawks' favor. Of course, being at home always helps the Seahawks as well. I just took it just because the Rams have a more competent defense. And I'd expect the Rams to make a stop or two whenever I don't necessarily expect the Seahawks to make a stop or two. Russell Wilson, man's been carrying that team on his shoulders for many, many years now. And he always gets off to a great start. Wouldn't be shocked to see Seattle walk out with a win, but for some reason, I think it's going to be a little bit more of a bounce back game. I think the Rams are going to be a little bit more hungry, just because I don't necessarily know if that game should have gotten away from them like that. That was definitely I thought I'd expected it to be a little bit closer, but yeah, I got the Rams in a close one. I think, again, a division matchup, 2 very high powered offenses. It's going to be a very entertaining game. Probably the best Thursday night game we've seen so far.
I would have to agree with the most exciting part. I do think this is going to be a really good matchup. We'll move to my first island, that being the Saints against the football team. I'm the only one taking the Saints. And of course, I have to bring the Matty stats. The Saints are coming off a victory, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, they lost. I'm sorry. They lost in overtime.
Correct.
They lost in OT to the Giants. So they're coming off a bad result. But following a overtime game last season, they went 2-0, which means absolutely nothing to this game. But hold on, I have other things for this. The last 2 times the Saints started a season 2-2, that being 2017 and 2020. They finished the season with 11 plus wins and won the NFC South. That also says nothing about this game, but I do still trust the New Orleans Saints in this situation. You have to think about it, because you lose last week in overtime to the Giants. It kind of reminds me of the Titans losing in overtime to the Jets. Now, the Giants are much better than the Jets, but are you not going to take the Titans this week? I mean, I have it right here. We all did. You still have to have some kind of trust in a team. And, losing a close one to the Giants in overtime, I can't be super upset about. I think the Giants were due, because, besides a few small things, I mean, they weren't like Daniel Jones hasn't been like terrible or anything. Like nothing has been that bad about the Giants. They've just been losing. So, it was bound to come at some point. But I do think that the Saints will be able to bounce back. The Washington football team, they've played well this season, but their defense has, compared to last season, struggled. Chase Young isn't doing what he's supposed to. I want to say he has no sacks in 4 straight games now to start the season. So that's somewhat concerning. We're getting to that part in the season, but you compare the defense of the football team from last year to this year, they're giving up 30.5 points per game. They were giving up only 20 last season. Total yards is up by over 100. Opposing passer ratings up by like a good 20 points. We're getting to that part of the season where you should be settling in. And I do think that will come eventually for the football team. I just don't know about this week. I mean, you have Jameis Winston who can throw the long ball, who can definitely take advantage of a struggling defense. And if Chase Young isn't getting sacks, which is his main job, that gives Jameis plenty more opportunities, obviously, keeping him upright. So I do think that the Saints will be able to prevail despite last week's loss. So I'm going to go with them. But RJ, why the football team?
Well, I'm actually kind of shocked that you were the only one to pick the Saints. When I picked Washington to beat New Orleans, I thought maybe I might be the only one because I do agree. I think there's some level of trust that we just have with Sean Payton and the Saints. They've been there. Yeah, it's not Drew Brees, but I don't know. There's just something about the Saints. You just expect them to win a game like this, coming off an ugly loss against the Giants. That being said, I know Washington's defense has kind of underperformed, but this is the absolute perfect defense to stop Jameis and to stop Taysom Hill because they have an elite pass rush. So they're going to get to Jameis. Jameis is going to, what do I do? And throw an interception. Or those linebackers, all that speed on that defense, they're going to hit Taysom Hill in the mouth if he tries to run some little gadget play on the 5-yard line. This is the perfect defense to shut New Orleans down. And Taylor Heinicke, until someone finds an answer for him, hey, that dude's slinging rock out there. So I like Washington at home. I just I got him.
Hey, I mean, I definitely understand that. I'm not shocked, I guess, that I was the only one to pick the Saints, but I mean, why not have some trust in the Saints? I mean, yeah, like you said, Sean Payton, you can trust him, and he's probably one of the 5 coaches you can really trust in the NFL. So, hey, I'm a ride with the Saints. Who dat? But I'll create some space between my islands and have Will talk about his for a minute. He's the only one picking his Chicago Bears against the Las Vegas Raiders, who are coming off their first loss of the season. Will, talk to us a little bit about that.
Oh, you got to have trust in them, right? Oh, God. Somebody has to. Listen, Justin Fields named the starter going forward, which is going to be fun. The kid's done nothing to impress me so far, which is depressing. He didn't even look that great against Detroit and the Lions, but the Raiders didn't look that great either. The Raiders just played the Chargers. I was not impressed. It's one of those games where the Bears are getting ready to go on a long streak of tough opponents, where we're all going to consistently pick the team facing Chicago. But yeah, I got to go with the Bears right now just to try to get that upper hand. I mean, these are two teams that I think that the Raiders have been overperforming. I think the Bears have been underperforming, even though they're 2-2. I guess it's not horrible. Whenever I was looking at the schedule, I had them 2-2 at this point as well, so I'm not really surprised. But this is another game I feel like they can win. I don't know if I trust the Raiders as much as I typically do. You know, I don't think their win-loss record really speaks to this team. Having injury issues in the backfield hasn't been great. I don't know how I feel about Derek Carr. And with their offensive line, I feel like this is a game to where the NFL's leader in sacks, the Chicago Bears, could be able to get out there and eat Derek Carr alive. I think this is going to be one of those things to where the offense might not get moving. It hasn't been great performances by the O-line. If the Bears can get back there and hit Derek Carr in the mouth a couple of times, I think this is a winnable game. the Raiders defense has been decent this year too. Max Crosby's been getting after it. Carl Nassib's been getting after it. But I think if you play it in the situation right, I like the idea. I like the chances of Justin Fields to be able to get out of the pocket more and to move the pocket more than Derek Carr to be able to move the pocket against elite pass rushes. So I like the chances for the Bears to be able to make something happen, even though Matt Nagy is not the guy who's made something happen this year. I'm just kind of putting all my eggs in the Justin Fields basket to go into week 5.
Side thought: is this a Khalil Mack revenge game?
Oh my God. Not necessarily a revenge game. I don't know if I don't know if there was like bad blood or anything like that, but I think.
Well, is this the first time he's played the Raiders? I mean,
yes. This is the
so
first
it is officially
time.
called a revenge game, yeah.
And it's in Vegas, which I mean he's never played in Vegas, but it is in the Raiders' home. So this will be fun. I think it's going to be a good one. I guarantee Matt gets a little bit of some ovation, I'm sure, because they've been wanting him back. They still are trying to get him back. So yeah, no, I like the chances of the Bears. I think their pass rush is going to be able to just pop Carr in the mouth a couple times. You'll see a couple of poor decisions made, and the next thing you know, the Bears are walking out with a close W.
Since Khalil Mack left the Raiders fewest sacks in the NFL. So if that tells a story, RJ, thoughts on the Raiders?
I actually completely forgot about the Khalil Mack factor there. That'll be fun to watch. I know him and Derek Carr, they were like the leaders, on offense and defense, and now he's probably going to put Derek Carr on his back at some point in that game. But look, I love Justin Fields, but not with Matt Nagy as his head coach. Next year, I'll probably be picking the Bears a lot next year because I love Justin Fields and Nagy won't be there. But I just can't get over Matt Nagy. It's hard to pick him.
Yeah, I talked about coaches you can trust, and I could promise you that Matt Nagy's not one of those. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But we'll move on to my final island, and I'm shocked. I'm the only one to pick the Los Angeles Chargers to beat the Cleveland Browns. Really, really, really shocked I was the only one. I mean, the big story here is Jay Herbo. It's Justin Herbert. He's been playing fantastic football, and compared to Baker Mayfield, who's he's done nothing. I don't want to say he's been bad, but he's done nothing. Two touchdowns, 2 interceptions through 4 games. It's not what you want. No touchdowns last week, only 155 yards. You beat the Vikings, who the Vikings seem to make things close, but they won 14-7. I mean, no offense provided. And even the run game, I mean, it took, I think, 21 attempts for Nick. I'm not sorry, not Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb?
Nick Chubb, yeah.
Nick Chubb. Yeah, it took him 21 attempts to reach 100 yards. So not the most efficient performance overall from the offense. And I mean, the Chargers are coming off a big win. I mean, they looked so good against the Raiders, obviously handing them their first loss this season. And a lot of that is to thank, you have to thank Justin Herbert. And he has some great receivers with him, obviously. Keenan Allen headlining that group. The Chargers seem to finally have things together. And then you have a healthy Bosa on defense, which makes everything better. I don't know. I just think the Chargers are right now trending up, and Cleveland hasn't really shown me that I think they're just kind of flatlining right now. They're 3-1, but they're not playing. I don't think they're playing to a standard that the Chargers are, at least. But I'll get your guys' thoughts. This one kind of shocked me that I was the only one. Will, thoughts on the Browns?
I think this is going to be a fun game, but ultimately, defensively, if you had to give me a chance, I'm taking the run defense of the Chargers, or I'm taking the run defense of the Browns over the run defense of the Chargers. Chubb and Hunt, they're going to do what they do. You're right, Baker hasn't been outstanding. Jay Herbo's been great. Austin Eckler's been great, fantasy god. But But I think a lot of things are closer in this game, such as like the spread and the win percentages, because it's in Los Angeles. Obviously you always get 3 points to the home team, and the Chargers are favored to win by 1.5 points. So obviously this is a game that's going to be close. This is a game that's this is going to be fun. Both offenses are clicking on all cylinders. But I watched that old boy Myles Garrett sack my boy 4.5 times, and the team as a whole sack him 9 times. If there's a team that's going to get in the backfield, it's going to be the Browns. They've been very disruptive this year. Their defense is something to work with, and it's honestly the reason they've won some games. Baker didn't perform well against the Vikings, but then they held the Vikings to 7 points. It's one of those situations to where I trust the Browns defense, which is never a statement I've said before in my life. I have literally never thought of this team to be a defensive team, but I mean, they are performing amazing on the back half of the ball. So, they're getting a ton of pressure. They're making the stops. They're making big plays. I like the Browns to keep riding high, and they're starting to look like clear division favorites out in that division.
Chargers only allowing 1.8 sacks per game, so we'll see if Myles Garrett.
Yeah, their O-line's been doing a lot better this year. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, Herbert's been great. I think he's won like 7 straight games or something going back to last season. So if they keep rolling, we'll see. But we'll move to our islands, where the first one we have me and Will siding with Teddy Bridgewater and the Denver Broncos as they take on.
Oh, we're siding with Drew Lock, my guy.
Oh, it's Drew Lock now?
Oh, yeah.
Look at me. Against Ben Roethlisberger, who's falling to pieces as we speak, who Jamil and RJ are putting their faith behind. RJ, why the Steelers?
Look, there's no one that has ran his mouth and talked worse about Ben Roethlisberger than me. But I'm still going to pick him, and it's because of what y'all just said. He's going up against Drew Lock. I ain't picking the Broncos. It ain't going to happen. This team they're not good. And I know they started 3-0, and everybody was like, oh, wow, what is this? Like, it's a joke. That's what it is. It's a fluke. It's a joke. It's a farce, whatever you want to call it. This Denver Broncos team is not good. They are going to own last place in their division by at least 3 or 4 games. The Pittsburgh Steelers, look, as bad as Ben Roethlisberger is, Najee Harris is good, very good. His receivers, not bad if he can get the ball to him. And that defense is still very, very good. That defense is going to give Drew Lock a fit. I don't care if it's Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater, bring Tim Tebow back, roll John Elway out there in a wheelchair. I don't really care who's playing quarterback for the Broncos. That Steelers defense is going to give them fits. I don't think the Broncos score double-digit points.
That's bold. And, it doesn't really have to come down to the quarterback. Typically it does. And, if it is Drew Lock, obviously he's had limited reps this season and he wasn't that impressive last season. But you got to kind of look at the Broncos run game. They're only one of 3 teams with multiple running backs of over 175 rushing yards this season. Only I think Cleveland and Dallas have done that. So Melvin Gordon Jr. and Williams have been pretty impressive. Defensively, though, the Broncos, I think that's the main story. They've only allowed 12.3 points per game this season, which is pretty minuscule. I mean, the Steelers have potential on offense, but the way Big Ben's playing, I don't think I trust him right now. Will, what are your thoughts on that?
My big concern about this game is that the Steelers have been like the weirdest team to start. They've been, they're plagued by bad quarterback play. We all know that. But there's a big injury report between both of these teams because Drew Lock's going to be in, not Teddy B. At least most likely. Teddy B is listed as questionable. Melvin Gordon's also questionable, but Ben Roethlisberger, Juju, and Chase Claypool have all had injuries this week, and they're all questionable going in. If two of those guys don't play, Big Ben not playing might be the best thing for the Steelers. Honestly, if it's Drew Lock versus Dwayne Haskins, might have to mess around and take the Steelers. This is the Steelers are real roughed up right now. They're not 100%. The Broncos aren't either, but the Steelers have just been a little bit more inconsistent, and I know they've played a little bit harder of teams. But there's a couple of games in there that I will say are like inexcusable. You know, dropping that game against the Raiders was inexcusable to me. Dropping that game against the Bengals, especially by 2 touchdowns, is a little bit unexcusable for me. I don't know how I feel about them because I'm not completely sold on either one of those 2 teams being great yet. And they're out here getting bodied by them. So it's the Steelers have been a little bit inconsistent. As long as Big Ben is in the quarterback spot, I don't know how much I can trust him. And if the other team on the other side is somewhat competent, I'll take that team.
Yeah, there are a lot of question marks between both of these teams, but we'll see what happens come Sunday. We'll move to our second and final island, and it's a rematch of the 2020 AFC Championship. The Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. No one circles the wagons like the Bills, but it split us, which I found a little surprising, but it's the Chiefs. Will and I are taking the Bills. Jamil and RJ are taking the Chiefs. Jamil, no, he's not here. RJ.
Hey, Jamil, what do you think?
RJ, why the Chiefs?
Well, I know what Jamil would say. He's not going to bet against Patrick Mahomes at home, and I'm not either. I'm not going against Patrick Mahomes. Look, I think there's this kind of sense, just watching, sports, the sports TV this past week, that big Chargers win on Monday night, and the fact that they beat the Chiefs, and then the Chiefs gave up over 20 points to Philly, who's another trash team. People are kind of thinking that there's some change of the guard in the AFC West about maybe the Chargers are the team to beat and not the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to remind everybody who they are. I get it. They haven't looked perfect. They haven't looked like that team that won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, or even the team that went to the Super Bowl last year. And I get it. But this team, they still have number 15 playing quarterback. Tyreek Hill is still unguardable. Travis Kelce is still not a human being. They're going to beat the Buffalo Bills. I know Buffalo won 40-0 last week, but they also played against Davis Mills. They're not playing Davis Mills this week. They're just not. And it's also probably not going to be pouring down rain, and you're not going to have home field advantage. So Buffalo is a very good team. They might be the second or third best team in the AFC, but this is the Chiefs. This is Sunday night. This is at Arrowhead. That's Patrick Mahomes playing quarterback. I'm not going against the Chiefs.
I mean, I don't blame you for playing it safe, but I mean, the Chiefs right now haven't been playing like the Chiefs. Like Mahomes is fine. He's not the problem, but you look at the defense, they're ranked 31st. On the other side, you got the first ranked defense who leads the league in sacks and have allowed the fewest yards, touchdowns. I know the quarterbacks they've gone against haven't been great. Mills, Heineke, Brissett, Roethlisberger, but I don't know.
Davis Mills.
Davis Mills is bad.
And Davis Mills. I mean, come on.
And it's hard to compare those games to each other just because one's Patrick Mahomes and one's Davis Mills, but you got to play on both sides of the ball. And if the Chiefs defense is struggling, Josh Allen coming in, I think he'd be able to take advantage. I mean, Mahomes, if he's the best quarterback in the NFL, which probably, right? Allen's what, top 5, I think, right? Is that
I'd say right now, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these two teams are not far off from each other. They're just in polar opposite directions when it comes to defense. So I think even more than offense, because both teams have great quarterbacks and kind of offenses as a whole. I think the defense will be the decision maker. But Will, let me get your thoughts on this.
Hey, Davis Mills or not, the last 3 games outscoring opponents 118-21 tells you what you need to know. The Bills, ever since getting upset, in my opinion, was an upset by the Steelers. Ever since then, the Bills have looked like a completely different team. The Bills look like they have a high-powered offense, even more high-powered than last year. I don't know what it is about Emmanuel Sanders. He's kind of having like a nice little career resurgence out there. Dawson Knox has been absolutely ridiculous because it hasn't all just been Stephon Diggs this year. Stephon Diggs, sure, he's got 305 yards, but the last 3 weeks they've put up 35 plus, and Diggs still only has 1 touchdown on the season. So now that's really starting to become a collective effort on the offensive side of things. I think the Bills have looked absolutely outstanding. They're playing great, and I think this is going to be an amazing game. I think this is a coin flip game, obviously, an AFC Championship rematch. But and I'm just praying that Patrick Mahomes quits trying to be flashy. Just go out there and be a quarterback. Do what you got to do, because honestly, if he didn't do these no-look passes, tried to make ESPN top 10 almost every single play, then he could easily be 4-0. Like, there's no reason why they couldn't be. But they've had some inconsistencies, especially on the offensive side of things, because either Pat Mahomes either makes too flashy of a play and gets himself in trouble, or his skill positions have it hit off their hand and fall into the hands of a defender. There's a lot that's been like really weird about the Chiefs. So don't be shocked. If the Chiefs can play clean football, it should be the Chiefs game. But instead they can play until they play 100% clean football, which I think is going to be damn near needed for this game to win it. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills in a shootout. It's going to be fun. It's going to be high scoring, hopefully game of the year potential. But yeah, this is going to be a really fun game.
Yeah, no matter who wins this game, it's going to be an exciting one. Of course, we'll discuss it more next week, but that's it for our islands and splits. Let's fly through now our unanimous selections, starting with the Atlanta Falcons over the New York Jets. RJ, if you don't mind.
Yeah, remember what game was it when I said it was 2 ugly girls fighting? It was Falcons.
Giants.
That's what it was. Well, this is one of the ugly girls' sister that's actually a little uglier. And they're going to fight now. And they're going to go across to Europe and do the fight at 9:30 in the morning local time. So
Dude, Europe doesn't deserve this game. What did they do wrong?
I don't think anybody in America wants to see it. Nobody in America wants to see that.
Thank God,
so you might as well put them over there. Yeah, I'll definitely be sleeping through that one. I'm not gonna lie. Look, neither one of these teams are any good. Take the Falcons. They got the more experienced quarterback, and they've got a little more firepower on offense. Maybe they can fall into some points.
Well, Packers, Bengals, two. I think it's a good present versus future quarterback matchup, but we all went with the vet, Aaron Rodgers. Tell us why.
Yeah, I mean, the Packers remind me a little bit of the Bills in that sense. Very poor, underperforming week 1, and then turned it into like, hey, I'm still a real contender. The Packers are ridiculous. Aaron Rodgers has been playing out of his mind. I love the way the Bengals have been playing. Absolutely love the way the Bengals have been playing. But the Packers are rolling. The Packers are hot. They're doing so good. I think this could potentially be a little bit of a closer game than people may expect. But I still like the Packers. I trust Aaron Rodgers more to pull it out than I trust Joey B and his O-line and everything like that. So just give me the Packers just because of more legacy than anything.
Lions in Minnesota to take on the Vikings, all 4 of us going with Minnie. RJY.
I don't think Minnesota is as bad as their record indicates. I don't. I think they should have beat Cincinnati. They played toe-to-toe with Cleveland. This team just isn't that bad. They find ways to lose, whether it's a missed field goal or Kirk Cousins just can't get the job done, whatever. This roster isn't that bad. And they're going up against Detroit, who, if you can name 5 players on that roster, I'll give you a fucking McDonald's gift card. Like, I mean, that's,
sponsored by McDonald's.
We got 2, we got opposites going against each other here. I got to go Minnesota. As much as I don't like Kirk Cousins, I think he's holding this franchise back. They're going to beat Detroit because Detroit is pitiful.
Will the defending champs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, winning against the Miami Dolphins?
Dolphins have been disappointing. Again, another team that has, they had an okay game against the Steelers, against the Patriots. They looked decent, week 1. You're thinking, the offense just needs to click, and then the defense is already holding it down. No, this team's not fun. This team's not fun to watch. There's something about the Miami Dolphins that's just, it's not getting it done for me. So give me the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are, I mean, they're still legit. They're still who they are. You know, they're what he said. They got one of those. You know,
the Bucs are gonna beat the Dolphins big. Big blowout.
And bet the house on it. You know, give me a McDonald's gift card on that. Give me the Bucs. Absolutely.
Yeah, I trusted the Dolphins with one of my islands last week, and they screwed me. So not going with the Dolphins anytime soon. RJ, your Carolina Panthers, they're kind of hot, just overall, and they acquired Stephon Gilmore today, which will be important in the future. But for this week, they're taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, and all four of us have them defeating Philly. Can you tell us why?
The Eagles are not good. They're flat out just not good. Jalen Hurts is not going to play. He's not going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL for very much longer. I think as soon as Philadelphia can make a move to get another quarterback, they will. They're going to have 3 first-round picks in this upcoming draft. You can package those 3 and go get Deshaun. You can draft a quarterback with one of those 3. You're going to have to figure something out because Jalen Hurts is not the long-term answer at quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's just not any good. And Carolina's defense is very good. And they are going to give Jalen Hurts a fit, I have a feeling. We also might be getting Christian McCaffrey back this week. I think Carolina will take care of Philly. It won't be too big of a blowout, but I don't think that Philly can keep it a 1-score game, honestly. I think Carolina will take advantage of them.
Well, the Tennessee Titans last week lost a close one in overtime to the New York Jets. This week they faced another bad team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. For one, this schedule is kind of very much benefiting them. They can't fumble this bag. 2, all 4 of us are putting our trust in the Titans, having them defeat the Jaguars. Explain to us a little bit about that.
Dude, if they lose any more wide receivers, I might mess around and switch to the Jags. AJ Brown and Julio Jones out. I don't know if either one of them is going to be back. I don't think Brown's back, and I haven't heard much about Jones. This is getting fun, but oh my God, Derrick Henry's got to stiff arm somebody into the dirt, right? You got to trust Derrick Henry to at least carry this team a little bit. The Jags have, poor touchdown Jesus, just L after L after L, which he's not used to, which is weird for him. But I don't think it breaks this week. And I don't think anybody in their right mind actually takes the Jags here in the situation. As bad as the loss was to the Jets last week, you bounce good teams bounce back from stuff like that. They'll be all right.
That also doesn't
you know who's not taking L's?
Who?
Urban Meyer.
No, W's.
Hey, that was a W. That's all I know.
The Jags haven't won, but Urban Meyer's undefeated.
Urban Meyer was undefeated on Saturday night. That's all I know.
Taking the attention away from his own team.
A horrible play.
It might help them. Who knows? But we're gonna trust the Titans for now. Macaroni Jones and the Patriots taking on the Houston Texans. RJ, enlighten us on this one.
I don't want to pick a quarterback named McCorkle, but I'm damn sure not picking the Houston Texans to win a football game. They're pitiful. This is not – who's paying money to go sit at this game? Like, that's all I want to know. Like, Davis Mills' mom might not even go to the game. Like, don't nobody care about this game. Like, this is bad. It's not a good one. This is not your mid-2010s who's that guy? Matt Schaub versus Tom Brady playoff games between the Texans and Patriots. This is not that. This is McCorkle and Davis Mills. I literally could not care less about this game. But Big Bill is pissed after losing to Tom Brady. I don't think the Houston Texans might get shut out again this week.
This might be the best week we've ever seen the Patriots. I'm not going to lie. They're going to be disgusting this week.
They probably will.
An in-division matchup, the NFC East, to be exact, the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants, both coming off victories. We all picked the Cowboys. Tell us why, Will.
The Giants, that ugly sister that, I know that their twin sister is fighting the Falcons again. They just can't get over it. But the ugly sister has another battle to fight this week, and the Cowboys have been looking amazing. Dak Prescott looks great. Zeke Elliott doesn't look like a disgrace to the running back position anymore. And Tony Pollard's been a great backup with him. It's been a great running back duo out there. They just got rid of Jalen Smith, which is weird. I thought their whole defense was the problem, not just one guy, but I could be wrong. So So, but their offense has been clicking on all cylinders. Give me the Cowboys in a blowout.
I thought the Cowboys defense has been good. Trayvon Diggs, like 5
Oh,
picks.
Trevon Diggs has been ridiculous.
Micah Parsons has been good too, right?
Typically, the rest of their defense has been, at least over the last couple seasons, been historically pretty bad.
Right.
But Trevon Diggs has looked amazing. He's been catching balls better than Stephon. So it's one of those that he's been playing great out of his mind. Probably NFC Defense Player of the Month, at least up there. But yeah, no, he's been great, and the offense is clicking everywhere. So give me the Cowboys easy.
RJ, another in-division matchup. This one coming from a much better division, the NFC West. The Arizona Cardinals still undefeated, taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Talk to us about this one. Of course, we all did pick Kyler Murray and the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's hard to go against Kyler right now. He's making this look like he's playing a video game. This would be the perfect spot, though, for the Cardinals to have a letdown game at home, division opponent. The 49ers just come in, oh, man, we don't know who our quarterback is, and then beat Arizona. This would be the perfect spot. But I just can't do it. Kyler Murray is just – he's ridiculous. This dude, I said it when he was in college at Oklahoma. I've never seen anybody throw a football like him. He looks like he's just whatever, and then the ball goes 40 yards. There's just no effort at all, and it's unreal. I've never seen anything like it. I'm going with Arizona. They're going to put up some points.
And then Will, take us home. The Monday night game, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens taking on the Indianapolis Colts. All 4 of us taking Lamar and the Birds.
I want to take the Colts so bad. You have no idea how bad I want to support the Colts. But for some reason, they're just not winning games. They're not putting it together. This defense, I always thought this defense was better. I always thought that this team was great. And now I don't know. This team has been off to a very, very, very shaky start, and I'm getting a little nervous about them. The Baltimore Ravens have been playing outstanding football. They've looked great. Give me the Ravens just off of how they've been playing this season.
All right, fair enough. That's it for us. RJ still our lead dog. Will he be our lead dog next week? Who knows? Tune in and find out. But for week 5 NFL predictions, I've been Matthew Perry for Will Polston and our lead dog, RJ Stroke. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.